performance of the children, performance of all of you. Either debate contest or speech contest is organized. Fortunately, this time debate and speech both have just been organized in a very good way, and you are just going to entertain perhaps 80 to 90 minutes in a very adventurous way. You will have to clap for those guys who are just speaking in a very good manner. The guys who will just speak better, you must have to clap in the way to just encourage them. Okay? And let's see, every month 4, 5 or 6 new faces will just come before all of you. Okay? It will be achievement of ourselves as well as yourself. Okay? So without wastage of time, because it will take a lot of time, all the guys are just not going to just accept the defeat at all. That's why it will just take a lot of time. So without wastage of time, we are just going to start it. The rules I am just going to announce that one of the boxes has the names of the participants, and this particular box has the topics on which he or she has to speak. Okay? No one must that
Hello, mentors and my dear friends. I am Kajal from class 10th, and I am going to start a debate from the topic science, and I am presenting the advantage of the science, and my opponent is starting a debate on the disadvantage of science. I think science is a very precious thing which is given by this generation to make a higher education and uplift the situation with this. This is not a part of science that we cutting trees. It is a part of human nature that he or they use the stick materials. Then it avoid to cutting the trees.
Can you give an example of science?
Yeah, many of precious things which are given by science for human beings like computer, laptop, phones, and many of vehicles are there present in this surrounding. And like aeroplane is also a big example which is used to travel a very large distance and cover it in a small time. But in ancient time, people's carry tonga gari and many of kinds of these things to travel from one place to another, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of investment of.
Yes, I'm agreed that the vehicles and many of gift of science are precious for us. But what if vehicles we use, they make pollution.
But there is electric vehicles are present, and so many people are using them.
How do you get the electric vehicles? It want electric. How do you get the electricity?
By coal and many other things.
But we get coal with the renewable resources. They now get extinct, and this coal
can be reinvented. But
how can you coal reinvent it? It is a natural resource. We cannot reinvent it. We cannot reinvent the coal.
But we can obtain electricity by the dams and many of other things.
But I talk about the coal. We burn the coal and they produce large amount of air pollution.
Large amount of electricity is not produced by coal. I doesn't say that. I am saying that many of sources are present to produce electricity.
Many of the resource that produce electricity, that is hydroelectricity and sun, with the help of sunlight.
Solar.
We use coal in large amount. The hydroelectricity and the sunlight resource, we use these things in very less amount.
It depends on human nature.
It do not depend on human nature.
If a person can open a company in Rajasthan of solar panel, then he gets higher amount of electricity. As a result, coal was not burned. But
if we are being installed solar panel, we cut the trees. We cut the million of trees. That was
why do we cut the trees? In Rajasthan, there is no trees. There is only sand and desert.
But who said that the Rajasthan is fully of sand and desert? There are many lands.
The Thar desert is the hottest desert where sun rises and the temperature is very high.
But the whole Rajasthan is not a desert. It is a very fertile land.
I'm not talking about the whole Rajasthan. I'm talking about the place where is the
In desert,
deserting
you
area.
cannot install solar panel.
Just go and read the Wikipedia. There is a implantment of solar panels in desert area. You have
I also read in the Wikipedia they have not written that information.
then you
We
have
cannot install solar panel in desert area.
for installing solar panel you need a solar panel and the batteries you want and many of other kinds of things. Not only just talking about the trees and all.
Leave this topic. We now read about the topic of mobile. If we use mobile, we have to use the internet, and the internet are being using and for the internet we install many net towers, and this tower affect our environment.
It doesn't affect matlab means if we install the tower, the radiation of tower is at controlled by the government.
It is not control. There are many in our
How
previous
can you
generation.
say that many towers like Jio and Airtel, Vodafone are installing their towers, network towers, and maintain their power
I think your
radiation?
information is totally wrong because our previous generation, our parents that see the birds, we cannot see in this generation, and we see that birds and animals, and our future generation cannot see. That is also for ultraviolet radiation that
It
produced by the tower.
it is not essential. It is essential. I agree, but if anything has a good phase and then it also has a bad phase.
But we have a few of good phase and lot of bad phases.
No. The science has a many good phases like communication. We communicate our distance people within few seconds and by our
If you
using
communicate with mobile, it harm your eardrums. They affect their eardrums.
I am speaking. Didn't it harms your
It
eardrum?
cannot harm, but mobile is a gadget. They affect your eardrums. And
How can it? If I am speaking, then your eardrum is also absorbing
now
the
I
sound.
say that the mobile is gadget. They produce many harmful they produce radiant ray. For mobile we use internet. Now I say that, but we are being installed many towers. We cutting many of trees.
Why are we? No, the towers are planted on the roofs of the buildings, houses, and many of the lands which are barren and
How many
which are
times I
not.
said that the towers are also produce radiant ray. They affect their families. They affect their homes people that live in
Just
their home.
look around you. Many of the peoples are planted towers in their roofs. Why should they? They don't know. No, they knows that it harms. But the plus point of the phone. But the rents are not able to pay the higher fees of the.
If they do not able to pay higher fees, how can they buy the phone, buy the mobile?
Phone is in now generation. Phone is the thing which we can buy with the saving of 1 to 2 months saving of our money. It is the cheapest thing which is very useful. If anyone is spending money in various things, then it can be saved to buy a phone. And phone is a precious thing which we can study and many of things we can
But
do
the
with
many
our
other
phones.
citizens can distract with the phone. They scroll the reels on Instagram. They scroll the shorts
Look,
on YouTube.
this is the topic of science, not a topic of phone.
But mobile is the gift of science. Now
Okay.
you said that.
The addiction of phone is not a fault of phone. This is the fault of human being who is using the phone in that era. That much time he is taking or spending.
But what
many
about the
hours.
small children that have not mentality to use the mobiles?
So why they are using phones? Their parents should not give him or her phone to use.
They gave the children for their study, not for using the shorts and not for using YouTube and Instagram.
As you know that our life is very important and a single second is very important. We are saving our time like in studying, going to school, coachings, tuitions, left that hours, we have many lot of works at home, and that the time which is left for our enjoyment, then we can scroll for phone just for entertainment. Now generation is children are only want to stay in their homes, and that's why they like entertain themselves for 2 to 3 hours. And what is wrong about that? In older generation, children go outside, but there is not environment for going outside, and there is not place to play there. If any children is going to outside, that he or she get their playing grounds. But what about that children who were not allowed to go out? They use phone for their entertainment.
It is the fault of their parents, and I agree with this statement that with the help of mobile we can study and many things. What about the studied person? What about the studied student? The student is conscious for their study. They constantly see on the screen. They have their eyes
They
and their mentality.
they are not continuing looking at the screen. They take a breaks 20 minutes after reading
After
30
1
minutes.
hour,
After 1 hour,
and 1 hour is very more.
then there is some precautions to take by using phone. If a student is looking like phone in a proper distance and a proper manner, then it can't harm. If we use anything in a proper manner, it doesn't harm. But
It's not matter how much you mobile far from you. It also affect your eyes.
then if a student need to study regular at phone, then he or she would get ultraviolet goggles for their eye protection.
You know about the India's population. There are few people are rich and there are few people are poor. And the most population is middle class people. They afford the phone very hardly. How can they purchase the goggles for using only a mobile?
If they are purchasing phone, then they definitely purchase the goggles, because the price of ultraviolet
They have
goggles,
not enough money. I
They
think you do not the middle class people. They have not much
they
money and
don't
they have
have
not.
100 to 600 monies to spend on his or
I think your
eyes.
information is totally wrong because the goggles has not only or 600. There's 4,000 and 5,000 cost.
No, that's wrong.
It's totally right because I also take information on this.
My siblings and my uncles were also using ultraviolet goggles, which is very useful for them because they studies at much time. They tell me that there is not much cost. There is 600 to
You are
700.
exceptional case. Every middle class people cannot afford goggles for using
I
mobile.
am also belonging from middle class, and my uncles are
Now I say that you are exceptional case. Every middle class people cannot afford.
okay. Just leave
afford.
the topic of phone. If you are talking about the communication and traveling from one place to another, our vehicles make our journey easier than we walk or go for a.
Yes, I agree that the vehicles easier our journey. But what about that pollution? They make too much pollution.
I have already said that the electric vehicles, electric autos, are available.
Electric auto are very few amount.
No, in Hajipur, just go to the market and see. There is
You can see only few amount of electric auto. There are many too much. We see the auto that run on diesel.
now
petrol.
generation is very well educated, and they know how to deal with that with
They
our
are well
conditions.
educated, but they have not a sense that what is good and what is wrong.
If they are using that much kind of things like electric vehicles, then they know the benefits of that. And many people are nowadays are buying
It is the public transport. What about the private transport? It is the bike, car that make too much pollution.
their electric car also present.
Please name them.
The